It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Cincinnati Bengals and the Green Bay Packers. And it comes your way next on Madden Football.
It's the only fan-owned franchise here in the NFL. And tens of thousands of those fans have their cheese heads on, and it filled the stands of historic Lambeau Field here in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Thanks for joining us, everyone. With my partner, Brock Heward, I'm Kate Scott. And like so many matchups in the NFL, Brock, our focus goes right to the quarterbacks in this one. Both of these guys, players who've been around the league now for some time, they've definitely established themselves as veterans who know how to win football games.
Yeah, I think the word of the day, Kate, is definitely experience. Two guys who've been through the season several times over, have seen a lot at this point in their career, and been through quite a bit on the field. All that experience is stored up there right between the ears. And the one who is more skilled at leveraging that experience, more than likely is going to come away with the win.
Ready to get this game started. Here's Evan McPherson. And here we go from Lambeau. Nicole Hardman now on the return. And this drive will start inside the 25. So the Packers offense getting set for their first drive. They'll be led out by the Utah State product and former first-rounder back in 2020, Jordan Love.
It took Jordan Love a little while for him to get his chance to start in the NFL. He had to watch Aaron Rodgers for a number of years, but guess what? Aaron had to watch Brett, and it paid huge dividends. And it sure looks like Jordan Love, to start his career, is doing the same. He didn't just watch Aaron Rodgers. He worked on his game. He developed his game over 3 years. And when he got his chance, he sure looked like a young star at the position.
Jacobs gets it to start the drive. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
Some backs are easier to tackle than others. Some, well, they just choose violence. They look for those opportunities to bust through tackles and keep those legs pumping.
Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Going run again with Jacobs. Solid 4-yard gain there, and now they've got 2nd and 6 coming up.
You know, that's a good run right there to keep the offense on schedule. If he can average that type of yards per carry, this guy's going to be more than all right with letting him lead the show.
2nd and 6 coming up here. They stick with Jacobs. And he'll be brought down a step or two shy of midfield. They're going to mark him at the 48. They get an even 10 on that play. And that's good for a Green Bay first down.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that execution to move the chains. Now that 3rd down call that they had ready, well, they could stick it right back in their pocket for a later occasion.
First down throw. Here's Love. That's the rookie from Texas hauling it in. And he pushes this down to the 42 before going down. Give him an even 10 yards on the play. And it'll be first down, Packers.
That is what elite offenses are all about. Why worry about 3 downs when you need only 1? Move the chains in one play and keep driving that defense backwards.
And with a nice gain, he runs him down inside of field goal range. It's a solid 70-yard pickup on first down. Now they're going to have 2nd and 3.
That's a run that you'll take the result in the NFL every time. A nice play, a solid game, but it's also a run that you know and you may come back to, because if you were that close to breaking off an explosive one, you really break the backs of a defense.
Takes the handoff, now Love. Reed's got it. And he's going to be out of bounds. Looks like a yard or two short of the 25. He manages a gain of 8 there. And that's good for a Green Bay first down.
That's just great instincts. Go air it out on 2nd down rather than just play conservative and run it. They hit a weak point in the coverage and don't need to worry about 3rd down at all.
Running on first here with Jacobs. Has some space inside the 15. And he's all the way down to the 6-yard line. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets him up with 1st and goal.
Even with everything he racked up on that run, you could argue he deserved maybe a little bit more. That call was the perfect one to break for big yards. The only thing that saved the defense from a score was getting that contact to slow him down and eventually, finally, stop him.
This drive has been excellent. A few shots now. It's starting with 6 as they come up on it. 1st and goal. Working inside the red zone.
He's just one of those guys, Kate. Even when he's not open, he's still a target thanks to that physicality and his ability to just play bully ball. They don't like forcing into coverage, but sometimes when you got a bully like him that can create space, you just find a way to get him the ball.
The nose of the football inside the 1. Here's 2nd and goal. Jacobs. And he falls through the defense for a touchdown. The Packers finish up an excellent opening series. It's a Josh Jacobs touchdown. What an outstanding opening series, partner. They just wore down that defense as they marched their way to the end zone.
Yeah, it took a whole bunch of that opening script to find a touchdown, but it showed just how well designed that script was. It was the right sequence of plays to keep that ball moving and find the end zone while getting your offense established in its top gear right here early on.
Brandon McManus on for the PAT. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Packers will jump out to a 7-0 lead. On now is McManus to kick this away. Here's Charlie Jones with the return. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get set for their opening drive. They're led out by the legend over in LSU, the former #1 overall pick in 2020, Joe Burrow.
When Joe Burrow's between the white lines, he's one of the game's best and most entertaining quarterbacks. He just has a cool factor that is the envy of so many. Nothing seems to bother them other than some injuries that unfortunately have ended seasons early. When he's on the field, timing, the anticipation, Kate, the precision with which he plays, he has very few peers.
Burrow's first play going to the air. Got a man, it's Gesicki. He's got to gain a 6 there. Edger and Cooper there to make the stop.
That's what you call efficiency. Exactly what you're looking for on first down. Textbook. It sets up second and very manageable, and then creates that space if you want to take a shot downfield.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Burrow out of the shotgun. That's Gesicki. He's got it. And he's going to be touchdown, Brock. Looks to be a couple yards shy of that marker.
Sometimes when you're just looking to move it forward, get some small yards on a throw, quarterback's best friend, security blanket. And when it's a big old tight end, that's an extra bonus.
Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 2. From the gun, a give to Brown. And he's going to get this up to the 45 before he's brought down. It's a pickup of 11. And it sets up a Cincinnati first down.
You love a huddle? Kate, you really do. You love a huddle full of guys like this who just know how to keep the drive moving forward. There's some trust there that he's going to get the job done, and he's going to get another shot, I would guess, down the line.
On first down, here's Burrow. Looking right, and he finds him. And he'll head out of bounds after a short gain.
Quarterbacks will look for their tight ends short in just about any situation. They take away the deeper options. Well, there's their consistent source of positive yardage, the trusty tight end.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. Now a shotgun handoff to Brown. And he gets it past the 50 and down to the Packers side of the field. It's a gain of 6, and they only need half of that now on 3rd and 3.
That run's not going to turn many heads, but at the end of the year, I promise you, if you average over 5 yards a run, you can be a Pro Bowler.
All plays on the table here for 3rd and 3. Out of the shotgun, Burrow. Complete beyond the marker. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
You're not going to last long in the National Football League if you don't convert a good chunk of your 3rd downs. Nice find there to continue the series.
Their opening drive continues. 1st and 10 now from the 39. Brown on the inside give. This is ahead for about 5. Edger and Cooper there to make the stop. Halfway there on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
You gain that kind of yardage in the run game, and you're going to gain the trust of your offensive coordinator. Plays like that, runs like that, set the table for everything else in the playbook.
Here's 2nd and 5. Has him on the quick hitter. And they bring him down. Looks like he got it to the 27. That's good for 7 yards. And it'll be 1st down, Bengals.
I'm sure Coach, the play caller, doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
Straight ahead, it's Brown. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
Well, he was supposed to be the one who chipped away a few and got a new set of downs started right in rhythm. Instead, he's now forced to pick himself from behind the line thanks to a great effort defensively.
Back to the line they go. It's 2nd down. They'll run again with Brown. He's corralled after a modest 4-yard gain. Brought down by Quay Walker.
You know, these are the kind of runs, Kate, that a balanced game plan and a balanced offense is built on. It gets you good yardage, it sets up your play action, and it keeps that defense honest.
It's 3rd and 8. Need to get a chunk here. Burrow from the gun. That's caught for the 1st. Touchdown, Cincinnati. So a touchdown on the board for them, Brock, as they start this game off a perfect 1-for-1 offensively.
Yeah, I'm going to call that scripting for success right there. Can't do it much better than that. And listen, when you script these first plays, you don't always know who the targets are going to be. It's really then relying upon what the defense is trying to take away. They couldn't take away that big old tight end.
Evan McPherson on to try the extra point. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Bengals start off well to tie things 7-7. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. It's Keyshawn Nixon with the return. He's stopped on the return at the 27. The Green Bay offense returning to the field for their 2nd possession. And after the impressive drive we just witnessed, you gotta imagine that they are hoping to respond with something similar.
Yeah, and I don't love to use the word can't, right? But this can't be a 3-and-out for this offense right here. They got to give their defense a chance to catch their breath and turn some of the momentum in the building.
They're out and set. 1st and 10. Jacobs running behind center. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
I talked to a bunch of different GMs, Kate, especially around draft time, and they all say the same thing. Linebackers are so hard to find. It's hard to transition from the college game that's in so much space to this game where you've got to play in a phone booth, yet have that explosiveness to chase a play on the outside down like that linebacker just did.
Offense to the line for second down. Play fake, it's Love. He's throwing deep to the left side. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Gonna have to wait a little longer for his first catch of the game. So they're left facing third and long.
Well, that was almost one of those nice chunk plays you like to see in the NFL, Kate, before he was able to recover and provide the hit and ultimately dislodge the football. You like to see that physical edge and scrappiness to contest any kind of shot plays down the field.
He's on the move. Gets out of harm's way after stringing together some nice yards on that run.
I love that play. I mean, that's quarterback 101. Nothing downfield, get what you can with your legs, but so much more importantly, protect yourself. Availability, one of the most important abilities for any quarterback.
So fourth down, here comes Daniel Whelan to send it flying for the Packers. And the sunlight's not a problem for him. He looks up and makes the fair catch. That punt goes unanswered. No return there. And it'll be Bengals football. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. A give now to Brown. And he's brought down for a loss.
On these 1st and 10 calls, defenses are always keyed in that a run might be coming their way. And as soon as the QB turned to give the ball, the entire defense came crashing in to bury them for a loss.
All right, here we go. 2nd down. Here's Burrow. Into the hands of Gesicki. Complete.
Kid, I can't tell you how good that is. Anticipating the outcut, having the ball on the way before the receiver's head even turns. He puts it on him so that receiver can easily get out of bounds for the nice gain.
Battle coming up on 3rd and inches. Burrow. He has the first over the middle. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your 3rd downs. It's the money down. And nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Burrow setting up the play action. Completes it to his running back, Zach Moss. And 2 yards is all he's going to get before he's caught. Edger and Cooper there to make the stop. That's the end of one. Both teams with a little luck finding the end zone early. Scoreboard showing 7s on each side. We'll return to historic Lambeau Field after this. Time for our 2nd quarter. It'll be Bengals football to begin. They'll have it 2nd and 8. To throw again, it's Burrow. Throw takes him to the sideline, but he gets both feet in with the catch. They come through with a nice gain of 10 and a 1st down.
Move the chains! Gotta move them chains! Build momentum and keep that defense on its heels.
Ball on the 45, 1st and 10. Trying to throw here out of the gun. Short pass brought in. And that's good for a gain of 5. Rashawn Gary with that tackle.
Every once in a while, it's fine to be conservative on 1st down, especially when you get enough to stay on schedule and get a little something coming out of it, too.
Halfway to the marker. It's 2nd and 5. He'll throw it yet again. Catch made by Chase Brown. And they get this down to the 28. And that one goes for a gain of 11. And it sets up a Cincinnati first down.
This running back is a mismatch maker. That's how I label him on my little sheet right here. Right under his bio, this guy just creates matchup nightmares for every defender on the field.
First down, Burrow to throw. Into traffic, complete. And he gets this down to the 13-yard line. That's 16 on the pickup. And it'll be first down, Bengals.
I love throwing on first down. And when you see a first down pass just like that, it's taking advantage of a matchup you planned for, and you go out and execute.
All right, set now, 1st and 10. Play action now, Burrow. And they touch him down. Looks to be about 4 yards short of the 6.
I feel so bad. I really do. And I don't mean this sarcastically, Kate. I feel bad for these guys in coverage. I don't know how you defend some of these players today because they get that drag route, they get one step inside of you. Well, there's very little you can do other than make the tackle.
They'll throw it again. And for the first time, one of his throws doesn't find a home. It's incomplete, but boy, what a streak he had to begin this game.
Well covered on that play. Really not a large window for him to sneak that throw in.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Burrow back to throw. And he's going to take this in. Touchdown, Cincinnati! The Bengals take a 2nd quarter lead. T. Higgins, the touchdown. So, Brock, this offense starting to find its rhythm a bit as they finish things with a touchdown there to give them the lead.
And the key word there that you said is finish, because you want to have that mindset, even early in the game, that field goals aren't going to cut it. So that's great work to make sure they finish with 6 points.
McPherson at the point after. The point after splits the uprights. And the Bengals break that tie and now lead by 7. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Hardman with a return. He stopped on the return at the 27. The Packers and Josh Jacobs about set to go on offense. It's a touchdown ball game right now, Brock. 14-7 as they start this possession. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. A give to Jacobs on the inside handoff. And this one gets to the 33-yard line before it's stopped. Give him around 6. That's going to make it 2nd and 4.
I'm not kidding you, Kate. A run of that length at the NFL level, honestly, is the equivalent of a run of 15-plus at the high school level. It's hard in the run game to make yards, and they just got a very successful one.
On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
You know, coach gets in that QB's headset, probably told his offense and his QB, listen, I don't want to see a 3rd down on this possession, or something kind of like that. Whatever version he told him, it worked.
1st and 10 from the 41. Love from the gun. He's got a man left. And they push this down to the opposing 47-yard line. 12 yards on that play, and a good call nets him the first.
You know, it sure seems like he knew exactly where he was going with that before the snap. That's a pre-snap decision that led to a post-snap first down.
Football on that 47-yard line, first down. Fakes the handoff, now Love. And this time they're going to get there, and they drop him. And the big play drives them backwards. Second down coming up.
And look at that. All that effort and success from the previous play, it is gone. Credit to this defense who snapped and cleared. That's part of this game. You got to snap and clear. Give up a big play, come back and make a big one for yourself. And they do, getting home with that sack.
Everyone's prepped. It's second down now. Trying again, following the sack. And he's there to send that one away, incomplete.
I know a DB in the stat sheet loves to see INT and not PBU, but as soon as he realized a pick wasn't possible, he does the next best thing and knocks it away.
So after that prior incompletion, we've got third down. Shotgun now for Love. He beams one deep right side. And disaster averted. He knocks away the deep ball, incomplete. Could not beat the defender there. And now they're staring at fourth and long.
I don't fault the look downfield at all. I mean, that was just a situation there where it's a better defensive play than the offense executing.
The Packers send out their punting unit. First punt win 45 yards. This looks considerably further. That hits at the 9, but nobody around to grab it. It carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals and T. Higgins back in possession here. And that lead they've got, Brock, they are never going to have to worry about losing it if they keep scoring every time they touch this football.
Is that how it works?
It surprisingly is. You know, if you have the lead and you don't lose it, you win.
And that type of start, well, you wanted all 17 games of a season, but you're lucky to get it more than once.
This finds all complete. And he finds space for about a 3-yard gain. Brought down by Quay Walker.
Well, that's a pretty similar result to a first down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes second and third down a whole lot easier to manage.
Second down now, 7 to go. Burrow out of the shotgun. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. Trying to get it to T. Higgins. So now they're going to have to figure out this third down.
You know, I'm not sure if he was hearing footsteps or just had a surprise break in concentration. So unusual to see one dropped unless there's a hit involved.
On third down, here's Burrow. Right side cut by Higgins. They'll get 14 yards and a new set of downs.
That's what we call situational football. You spend all week working on your nickel passing game package to take advantage of third downs just like that.
Markers reset, ball at the 37. First and 10 now. Here's Burrow. This one taken in by Chase. And he's going to get this up to the 45 before he's brought down.
That is the epitome of staying on schedule. That kind of completion right there on first down. Well, it opens up the entirety of the playbook for second down. And with third and short in your back pocket, you can get even more aggressive and take that shot.
Throwing now, off play action. He completes it in traffic. And this is marked down right along that 40-yard line. Give him 15 yards on the pickup there. And it sets up a Cincinnati first down.
I may love watching a great thrower, but I love watching a well-done route too, Kate. Make that guy think you're trying to stack him only to drop your hips and cut right inside. Some good work to help reset those chains.
Has him on the quick hitter. And he'll be brought down at about the 29. Give him 11 yards, Brock, and a fresh set of downs.
Sure seems like he knew exactly what he wanted, and he got it, going right where he wanted to with the ball off the snap.
All set up now for 1st and 10. Running back sent in motion left. Bails out of the pocket. This time they're going to get there, and they drop it. And the defense is energized following that stick for a loss.
I know we talk about rhythm a lot when it comes to music, but it's the same thing with the quarterback and his protection. This QB was in rhythm, but they knocked the notes out of him on that one.
2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. Burrow from the gun. That's Gesicki, he's got it! And he stopped just before he reaches the red zone at the 21.
You get this big old dude like him in the slot, it's an automatic mismatch advantage. You train a little bit of speed, sure. You sure do get a lot of size. And anytime he's in the slot, you got to assume the ball's going his way.
3rd down, 1 yard to go. Putting the tight end in motion. Looking to throw on 3rd and 1. Complete beyond the marker. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
You know, Kate, they say a dog is a man's best friend. Well, a tight end that moves the chains on 3rd down, that's a QB's best friend.
Offense set for a 1st and 10. Working inside the red zone. And he will score. It's a Cincinnati touchdown. The Bengals take a 13-point lead. T. Higgins the touchdown. His 2nd scoring catch of the game. All right, partner, what do you think? Was that a design read, or did he just see space and he was reacting more on the old quarterback instinct there?
Yes. I think yes on both of them, and that play happens so fast that it really is instincts on both sides.
McPherson at the point after. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Bengals double their lead to 14. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Nixon now to return it. He stopped on the return at the 27. The Packers and this running back headed back out for a new series. They struggled to produce on that last series, but better results ahead as they take possession here. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Love looking to pass. That's into the hands of Dobbs. And he's out of bounds beyond the 35-yard line.
It's not just imperative that a quarterback knows man or zone. Same thing for a receiver, especially on a drag route. When he sees zone coverage like that, just settle down, find the soft spot, and give your quarterback a chance.
We're to the 2-minute warning from Lambeau. The Packers with the football. After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. Love out of the shotgun. Able to get it to Reed. And they'll take him down at the 43-yard line. A 70-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
It sure seemed like he knew exactly where he was going with that right off the snap.
The Packers trying to hurry to the line. On 1st and 10, here's Love. Finds him on the crossing route. And he's taken down directly on that 43-yard line. He picks up 15 on the play. And it'll be 1st down, Packers.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. And a lot of times it's for shorter yardage, but sometimes things break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete. Ball and defender arrived at the exact same time there. So it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, this game, you just can't make it harder than it needs to be. Just get the catch first. Guarantee your yards, and then worry about escaping defenders after the catch.
A 2nd down throw here for Love. Short pass brought in. Gets it ahead, has about 5 yards. The play brought to an end by Logan Wilson. The Packers trying to hurry to the line. Love on 3rd and short. Flushed out of the puck. And this time they're going to get there, and they drop him. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
These defenders, they can just feel it. You're up a couple scores in the game, and you know what the other side is starting to do. They're starting to press, and you're going to start to see a little bit more pass. And that, well, that's when these defenders pin their ears back. They get home, and they create havoc in a sack, just like that.
Again, Daniel Whelan heading out for another punt. Charlie Jones on the Bengals return. And he's certainly been staying busy. Once again, he's out to punt and sends this flying. Probably looking at our final snap of the half here on 1st down. Drops to a knee, and that pesky final second runs off. So we're to the end of our 1st half. That brings us to halftime with the visiting Bengals out in front. Now we'll get, in the interest of time, we'll bypass the halftime break and resume play with the 3rd quarter. On now is McManus to kick this away. Has this at the 6. He's brought down at what looks like the 24-yard line. The Bengals and Joe Burrow all set to take over. And as we're reminded of some of the highlights of this game, his touchdowns ranking quite high among them. We're going to see 3 of them here, and if you're scoring like that, Brock, it normally means you've had a pretty darn good game. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, Burrow. Got his target, it's Higgins. And that's good yardage with a new set of downs.
You want to become a quarterback's best friend? Do that. Turn a short little gain, a short little pass into some yards after catch, and that quarterback will find you again.
New set of downs for him at the 38. On 1st down, here's Burrow. Couldn't bring it in over the middle, incomplete.
That just goes to show you can't take any completion for granted, even on some of the shortest passes in the game plan.
No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Now Burrow finds finds his man Chase. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. A big play, 23 yards to move those chains.
From a great throw to a nice route and catch to moving the chains, there wasn't a whole lot not to like about that amazing play.
First down now, ball at the 39-yard line. Now a give, it's Brown headed right. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
Well, they were hoping to get outside and meet those guys at the second level. Well, someone from the second level came to beat him on his turf. And that meeting didn't go so well.
Back to the line they go. It's second down. Here's Brown again. And he'll be met near the line to limit the gain to a yard. Javon Bullard bringing that play to an end. They'll get that yard back, but no more. It's 3rd and 10.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
That's complete. Here's Brown. And they bring him down around the 34.
You can earn your money in the NFL in all sorts of different ways, but defensively, in a league where you're just not hitting as much in training camp, you're not tackling as much as they got to in the old days, when you can make a play in the open field, keep them short like that, I promise you some money will follow.
And this kick is good. He needed to get all of it there, and he did. And that makes this a 3-score game.
A lot of them may make it look automatic, but you get this deep, and those field goals are far from a certainty. It took all his concentration, every bit of his strength, to send that puppy through.
Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Hardman with a return. Returns looking good so far. The tackle's made, so this drive will begin at the 34-yard line. The Packers ready to run their offense back out there. They're running out of time to get this game into a more manageable spot, Brock. We've got a 3-score deficit, and we're in quarter number 3. Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Takes the handoff, now Love. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
You know, in the NFL, offensive-minded teams will call it a perfect Friday. They don't want the ball to hit the ground once. And especially on these short to intermediate throws, you got to count on those being efficient and effective.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. To the air with Love. Finds him over the middle. And it's a nice gain, but still not enough for the first.
Okay, when Bill Walsh was implementing the drag route with the 49ers in the 80s, it sounded the same way as it did with Mike Holmgren and me with the Seahawks in the 2000s versus man on a drag route, run away. You see zone coverage, settle down, give your quarterback his numbers, and you can find a completion just like that.
Play fake, it's Love. To the sideline, and he has the catch. Tough play for a small gain, but it does get the first.
Hey, Kate, they don't rightly care who it's going to go to in that situation. All they really care about are the results on 3rd down. And that's exactly the result they needed, enough to keep this drive moving.
Football on that 47-yard line, 1st down. From the gun, it's a give to Jacobs. And he's going to be brought down after reaching the 43.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run and crossing that 1st down marker.
Options are open here. It's 2nd and inches. Now a toss. This is Jacobs. And they've got him behind the line for a big loss.
Hey, it's not a sack, but these edge players love chasing down runs for negative plays and tackles for loss.
A less than ideal 3rd and 8 here. Love from the gun. He throws a bullet deep to the right side. And the defender redirects that deep shot. Nicely done. Incomplete. Jaden Reed, the intended target. So that brings up 4th and long.
You know, ball skills are not just a selling point for receivers entering the draft. Teams want defenders, especially in this day and age of the passing game, who can make plays on the ball, too, especially on these deeper throws. He doesn't swat that one away. We could be looking at a huge gain.
And this looks like it got just inside the 20 as it flew out, and indeed it did. They're putting the ball at the 19-yard line. The Cincinnati offense headed out now. And taking a look at these highlights, Brock, just a reminder of the type of game that they have had throwing the football. It really has been the key to their success.
Yeah, they've just not only stayed on schedule here, Kate. Man, they've made some music, right? Great rhythm.
Yeah.
Not just ahead of schedule, but huge plays that followed. We've seen a lot of different looks and wrinkles throughout this performance, and it's been a joy to watch.
They're out and set. 1st and 10. Burrow out of the shotgun. Completed over the middle. And he'll get it up to the 27.
That is a textbook 1st down completion. Sets up 2nd and very manageable and creates space to take that shot downfield.
2nd and 3 now. From the 27. Why not go back to it again if it's working? Complete.
This defense didn't give up contain there, Kate. That was an instance where the more exciting plays were taken away downfield. And even looking to the tight end wasn't going to net them much.
3rd and just 2 to go. Tight end going in motion here. Looking to throw on 3rd and 2. He goes back to him yet again. Complete. Following that completion, medical staff headed out for an injured player. We'll see what the nature of his injury is. It's a new set of downs for him at the 32. First and 10 now. Here's Burrow. Hits him on the out route. And he'll be out of bounds right along the 40.
I know I can sound like a broken record when I talk about timing and getting the ball out on time and on rhythm, but these outcuts, it is so imperative, and the best of them make it look oh so easy.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. A run with Brown. And his short gain gets them a new set of downs.
You know what I like about a 2nd and short run play, Kate? Yeah, I like getting a 1st down, but you know what I like even more? That's going to set up a play-action pass in a similar down and distance, and that defense is going to have to key on the run.
Let's see how they attack this 1st down, Brock, from the 43. Finds Chase on the slant. And he'll cross the 50 and start pushing onto the opposing side of the field.
Time and again, receivers will tell their quarterbacks, just give me a chance. Just give me a chance. Just throw it up and give me the opportunity. Well, in this case, with even 2 defenders trying to cover that wide receiver, couldn't get it done.
2nd and 3 now. Burrow from the gun. Brought in by Chase near the sideline. Give him 3 on that gain. And it'll be 1st down, Bengals.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them a 1st down.
New set of downs for him from the 46. 1st down, Burrow to throw. On the quick slant here, it's Higgins. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. They get 22 on that one. And it sets up a Cincinnati first down.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after the catch. The way he took the completion and made so much more out of it by adding all the extra yardage.
The drive picks up here, 1st and 10. To throw again, it's Burrow. He'll get this one to Brown. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down.
When there's heat, that blitz coming off the snap, that QB's eyes, you could see it right away. He got to his check down in a hurry. But, Kate, here's the key. Quarterback and running back have to be on the same page. The two were right there, and it netted some positive yards.
From the 19. That one falls to the turf. Couldn't hang on. It's incomplete. That's one he knows he should have had. And now they need to get 4 on 3rd down.
Oh, that drop is such a bummer because it ruins the payoff of such a well-designed play, Kate. Got the man open, beat the coverage, but then you got to go finish it. You got to go make that catch. I will say, keep that one in mind. They could revisit that play in the future.
Complete beyond the marker. And they're going to get this down to the 4 before being stopped. 14 yards on a nice play there, and it gives them 1st and goal.
I know the Combine tries to test everything it possibly can physically, but I don't know how you test courage at the Combine because there's nobody defending you. Nobody wants to hit you. But that was the epitome of courage to make that in cut and make the catch.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's got the Cincinnati touchdown. He hung in there as long as he could. A lot of quarterbacks would have bailed out. And it was what you talk about, Brock, that courage that kept the chance for the touchdown alive.
Yeah, that touchdown's going to show up on his stat sheet making the catch or the quarterback stat sheet for making the throw. But, hey, can we put some touchdowns up there for the big boys up front? It was their blocking and buying of time for that play that led to the score.
McPherson at the point after. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Bengals make it a 24-point ball game. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Hardman with a return. He stopped on the return at the 27. The Packers back out on offense. Their running back headed out once again. And his production is carried over into this second half. He keeps on running well, even with the workload they've placed upon him. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Jacobs gets it on the draw. And he powers through the middle for a gain of 4.
He'll expect more from himself on those type of plays, but there is nobody that's going to complain about that one. If you can do math, 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals a first down.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Shotgun give now to Jacobs. And he'll get it up near the 38-yard line before going down. That one gains 7. And that's good for a Green Bay first down.
That's the type of call that offensively, man, it just builds so much confidence. I don't even think they were looking to get the first down. Just get to a manageable 3rd down. But instead, they move the chains. And that is one disheartening look on that defense.
First down, and they go right back to him. And he's officially in enemy territory now. They're going to give him the opposing 49. Pickup of 12 on that play. And it'll be first down, Packers.
Kate, I know you can see that smile on my face as we stand next to each other. Sure, I love that run. But I'm thinking about some great running backs. In fact, Corey Dillon, who created a lot of negative grades on my play sheet because I didn't want to carry out no fake. I wanted to watch the damage he could do like we just saw.
It's a gain of 17 on that one. And that's good for a Green Bay first down.
It was such a privilege for me to watch Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne in person in Indianapolis do their work. Darrell Jackson out in Seattle. They showed how great a deep out is as a chain-moving play. It's all about getting that leverage at the top of the route and then exploiting the leverage as that ball arrives on time downfield.
He's forward, gets a couple of yards. Brought down by Trey Hendrickson. 2 on the pickup there, and it's going to be 2nd and 8.
You know, they got some positive yards. That's a good thing. But too many plays like that, it just is too hard to pile together, get first downs against the better defenses in this league.
They just get the play on. That one falls incomplete and brings us to the end of this third quarter. We'll see what they come up with for third down in just a bit. We've reached the end of 3. It's the Packers with the football and a chance to, well, do some window dressing here in the fourth. No connection on the last play, and now it's third down. Turning to Jacobs on third. He gets him the first inside the 15. And he's finally hauled down at the 12. They'll get 18 yards there. And it'll be first down, Packers.
That right there, that will make the coaches happy. He didn't just get the first down, but got a healthy chunk of bonus yards afterwards.
A new set of downs forthcoming. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now. He's got it! Touchdown, Green Bay! Well, Brock, this one has not been good to them so far, but they are still fighting and able to get in there for 6.
Just a drive that was all about scratching and clawing. As much as anything, Kate, it was just a pride drive to go and get your job done.
So the Packers showing faith in their offense as they decide to go for 2. He's throwing for it. Nothing doing on that 2-point opportunity. A fail on the conversion.
I've heard great receiver coaches say, watch your fingers wrap around the ball. You know, it's pretty clear he should have had that one, and he didn't get the job done. And 2 points, well, they're left on the table.
On now is McManus to kick this away. Fielded at the 7. Fights off a tackle, but he lost the ball. He left the ball behind. And they steal it back on the return.
Just look at everyone flying down the field. And when they fly down the field, they got 2 things in mind, Kate. Number 1, get the returner down. And number 2, separate the ball if you can. It's rare that it happens, but it sure is exciting when it does.
And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Love. That's into the hands of Dobbs. And he's able to drive this to the 29 before the stop.
It takes a certain level of fearlessness, craziness to work over the middle of the field in this league. You're fighting through guys as you go, and all the while you know you could take a lick at any time.
2nd down now, 7 to go. Handoff here to Jacobs. And he'll go down. Looks like they're marking him at the 11. That play good for 17 and a first down.
To play running back in this league, well, you've got to have tremendous vision. We saw it twice. Once to find the lane upfield, and then to get to space and break off some extra yards.
He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10. They stick with Jacobs. And he runs this one in. Touchdown, Green Bay. The Packers get it back to within 2 possessions. It's a Josh Jacobs touchdown. It's what every player who scores a touchdown wants to do, Brock. He wants to get right back there and put another 6 on the board.
I've never met an NFL player content with 1 end zone trip in a game.
Nope.
Yeah, if you're content, you're not making it to this league. You get one, you're instantly thinking of another, and the fortunate few are able to actually deliver on it.
McManus on for the extra point. The point after splits the uprights. And the Packers make it an 11-point ball game. On now is McManus to kick this away. On the return, here's Jones. He stopped on the return at the 27. The Bengals are being led back out there on offense by their quarterback. And like we've seen from him before, Brock, he got a good game going early through the air and kept the pressure up from then on. He's still taking it to him now as we work through this second half. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, Burrow. That's Gesicki. He's got it. And he's up to the 35-yard line as they reel him in.
The goal of that little drag route is to get him for at least a minimal gain with space to add after that. That picked up a good chunk, and it was nearly a big play.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. Play action now. Burrow finds a seam down the middle. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. Give him 30 yards on that one. And it'll be 1st down, Bengals.
You know, Kay, we often talk about flipping the field in special teams, right? A kick return, a good punt. Well, an explosive play like that does the exact same thing. Look at the difference in field position. By hitting on that shot, you've totally flipped the field and the tone of this drive.
On the ground, Brown. And he'll get this down to the 33-yard line. He gets a couple on 1st, and they'll come up 2nd and 8.
You know, not a ton of yards, but still showing that commitment to the ground game. The type of run that keeps the defense from loading up in coverage and focusing entirely on that passing game.
8 yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. Throwing is Burrow. Into the hands of Gesicki. Complete. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain. And the Packers at a 5th DB out there for this 3rd down play. Burrow setting up the play action. Touchdown, Cincinnati! Well, Brock, not much to say other than the fact that this offense on point. They're just clicking today.
Just rolling. I mean, this is clinic. This is what I call teaching tape. Being well prepared and, more importantly, going out there and executing at a high level.
McPherson at the point after. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Bengals push their lead to 18. Here's McPherson on to handle the kickoff. Nixon now to return it. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. The home teams returning their offense and this running back to the field. And as some running lanes have closed, he's just found some new ones. Continuing to hit this defense, more good numbers well into this second half. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Love out of the shotgun. Complete out to the right. And that's good yardage there with a new set of downs to boot.
Well, that is pretty darn impeccable timing between the two. They hit a curl route of that length. It takes great anticipation and precision by the quarterback, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
New slate of downs to approach here from the 40. On 1st and 10, here's Love. Caught by Jacobs. And he's brought down at the line.
You know, I've learned over the years, defensively, they call that the camera club. How many different guys can you get rallying to the football? So that last shot you see on camera, you see as many defenders keeping that to a 0-yard gain. That's well done defensively.
2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. Love from the gun. Connecting on the slant. And a nice gain here, but it's stopped short of the first.
Good luck defending that short yardage slant. Just not going to happen. There's a reason. This is a go-to play for just about any quarterback in every situation.
Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 2. Love to throw again. He has the first over the middle. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
Nice to see that connection, that chemistry working between the two of them.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. He'll throw it yet again. Escapes the pocket. Now here he goes. And he slides down with enough to pick up that first. That play goes for 19 and a new set of downs.
You know, Kate, back in the day, we had a slip and slide at practice for moments just like that. Actually practicing how to slide and get out of harm's way. Nice gain on the play and denied that defense yet another chance to take a shot on him.
Running on first here with Jacobs. And he's down into the red zone. This run gets to the 18. Good run, gets him 7. That brings up 2nd and 3.
Well, that doesn't net a first down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
2nd and 3 now. Love. He'll dump this one off to his running back, complete. And he's going to be stopped at the 17-yard line.
I call this quarterback's best friend. Some call it a safety valve, some call it automatic, but it's sure nice as a quarterback when you got a trusty running back over the middle of the field that you can depend on.
A dose of the hurry-up offense here. Catch is made in close. And all he needed was one more stride. He's at the 2-yard line. 14 yards on a nice play there, and it gives him 1st and goal.
They've run this 12-yard out route, Kate, at the combine, well, all the way back to last century when I had to throw it. In this throw, this is a big boy throw. This is a differentiator. Can you make that deep out throw on time, on rhythm, and accurately? Well, that was teaching tape right there.
And he won't salvage that. It's a loss on the play.
You know, that's so hard for me, Kate. That's the type of effort that deserves better when it comes to the results. It's going to show up as a negative run on the stat sheet, but that was not the runner's fault. He did all he could to fight to get back to the line, but this defense just kept swarming.
Gets it towards the end zone, but it's incomplete. Tough to blame him for that drop, Brock, even if it would have been a touchdown. That was a great effort defensively, timing that hit, keeping them from hitting the end zone.
Reaction and burst. You get in the red zone defensively, you'll hear it all the time. You cannot wait. You've got to react, and then you got to burst. And that defender does a tremendous job of breaking that pass up with contact.
This one's caught. And he drives this forward to the 6.
Those little short throws, they are high percentage and certainly bread and butter. But they really run the risk of a quick tackle just like that and being stopped short of the sticks.
Moving quickly, trying to get set again. Here he goes. Got to have this on 4th down. He's on the move. And this is going to be a Green Bay touchdown. The Packers get it back to within 2 possessions. Jordan Love, the touchdown. Well, Brock, not the way I imagine it was designed there on 4th and goal, but I don't think these coaches cared how he got the job done. Just make sure you get in for 6.
Yeah, really just 2 options here as the game speeds up down there, right? Find a throwing lane and execute quickly, or you better escape and make it happen with your legs. He didn't get the throwing lane, the coverage he wanted, so a great decision. You cannot hesitate. You got to go for it, and he sure did, and use that athleticism for 6.
That one splits the uprights. And the Packers make it an 11-point ball game. Well, this one not quite over just yet. They've got 3 timeouts at their disposal, but really need to make the unexpected recovery here. And the Bengals hands team does its job recovering that kick. Well, kind of feels like we're starting to get to that point, Brock.
And what point is that, Kate?
You know, the bold point of the game where you have to try something bold could end up becoming a play that finally sinks him, though.
Yeah, it's time for desperation. Without a defensive stop here, it's really hard to lay out the scenarios for much success. Every second matters now when you don't come up with that onside kick.
New set of downs for him from the 46. Brown on the inside give. And his charge towards the line, that's right around 3 yards. So we're down to the 2-minute warning here from Green Bay. Bengals leading by 11. 2nd down now, 7 to go. Straight ahead, it's Brown. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. So quickly the defense burns a timeout here. 1:57 remaining in the game. Let's see what they draw up on a 3rd and 7. Burrow out of the shotgun. Escapes the pocket. Oh, he's going to run for it. Now whistles and a timeout taken quickly by the defense. 1:50 left to go. They'll keep this drive moving and come to the line for 1st and 10. Handoff headed left to Brown. And he's tackled after gaining a handful. Timeout taken by the Packers, their 3rd and final one. That's all they had, so the offense free to start running the clock down now. Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5. They'll run again with Brown. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage.
Well, looky here. You don't even have to worry now about a 3rd down call as that run moves the sticks. Now that call you had ready, though, you can recycle it. Save it for later for that next 3rd down coming.
Victory formation here. Looks like they're going to take a knee on 1st down. It's victory formation the rest of the way for the Bengals, who take a knee.
There's still some time to bleed off the clock, but the important factor is that the defense is helpless to stop it. You could just run that clock down as far as you're able and take off every single second.
Lining up to take a knee on 2nd down. Your favorite formation, right, Brock? The victory formation here as he takes a knee.
Nothing left to do now, Kate, but celebrate on one side and watch on hopelessly from the other. What a hard-fought effort to get to this spot, and now you can enjoy the victory.
Setting up for the kneel down on 3rd. So the Bengals take this one on the road. And it was a game for fans of high-scoring football, wasn't it? I know Brock was enjoying seeing both of these offenses work, and really not a lot to dislike from either group. Just one side working at a slightly better clip than the other. That was the difference in the win. That does it for another broadcast of the NFL on EA Sports. With my partner in the booth, Brock Hewitt, I'm Kate Scott. The Bengals